Hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone, welcome. Just pop this out. I really need to get a second monitor to like help streamline everything that I do here. Yeah, we're diving into it, guys. So this is one trade I had, and well, I'm looking at currently here is gold for a buy. As you can see, it's already pushing here. Looking right now on the current candle, well, the market direction, something that I'd like to pay attention to is this right here. If we could see price actually push higher on this 1 hourly candle, I do think we could see a continuation all the way back up to like these highs here, passing the daily highs, the recent daily highs, which is this area right here. Now, something to note is that I'm very skeptical with this still, right? Because there can be a lot of volatility coming to gold right now, as we would have a lot of volume during the New York session. So that's something I'd like to pay attention to. I am expecting it to continue going up. However, I would say like there's more of a riskier chance, right? So like the probabilities in itself, I think it's like more risky to actually enter this, looking for those buy continuations. So skeptical in entering this, not really, trying to overdo or be like uncertain about any trades or anything like that I do take. So gold, something I'll be interested in, if anything, as we come closer to the New York session opens and everything. If we do see price push into this daily high and we see a bullish candle close, then I think a continuation higher would be a great scenario that would, possibly play out. Other than that, currently, GBP, JPY. So something we've seen, for the beginning of the London session, we saw like a lot of bullish movement. If you take a look here, GBP CAD, right? This entire bullish move right here. For some reason, the CAD is just getting absolutely, the CAD has been getting absolutely hammered, right? For whatever reason, that just seems to be the case, right? So I'm not too sure about what's going on with that. Fundamentally, I don't see anything as to being the cause of that, unless we're talking about for the euro area. We have, one of the representatives talking about hiking continuing, right? Sometime in September we may get another hike. Other than that, I really don't have much to say on the fact that we've seen the GBP and the euro, all the CAD cross space just really get embodied, right? As far as JPY is concerned, I do think that we could potentially see a play out all the way back to the downside here. So this is sort of like my trade idea, right? Right into this area, nice rejection zone for a continuation lower. Now, taking a look at the 30 minutes. All right, we want to see price actually maintain this level here. So in terms of a trade setup for me, let me just pull this back here. This would be the trade setup for me. And stop loss right above this area here, looking for price to come back down into this zone. And this is the trade that I'm looking at to currently get into for a 2% risk, so some light, and see that continuation moving down, right? So for me right now, this is what I'm looking at. The only thing that looks reasonable for me in terms of the GJ possible trade setups that we could get here, this would be it for me, right? So sell stop, target right into this area. Once price maintains this high, right, this pullback area here, I would like to see that continuation lower. We may even actually push past this sort of this zone that we are in, right? This 1 hour, 4 hourly zone that we're seeing price actually just, kind of consolidating within, right? So we may get that pullback. It might just be a pullback for a continuation higher, but for right now, with everything given, I do think that the yen itself is the stronger currency between the two currently, right? Obviously this can change, so don't quote me on that, but for right now, this is just in terms of fundamental analysis thus far. This is like what I have, and yeah, I'm just following along my strategy, my plan for myself, right? So this is about it in terms of like trade setups for me right now. JPY continuation to the downside, and even a better entry, right, for those continuations would be somewhere like if we see price actually push all the way down and we get price past this, this zone, right, the supportive zone, then the continuations lower would be like a higher probability, especially coming with the New York session open. That volume would continue pushing price lower, right? Again, this is just going with volume too. So GJ gonna get this two chances. Like I said, risking 2% on this one. Other than that, we'll just have to wait and see what's the play out here, right? So thank you. And if you're new to the stream and you enjoy the content that I do post, I'm going to do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I realize doing it on a daily to daily basis is something that I can maintain right now in my current situation. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I've decided would be the best times for me to like do the London live stream trading, as well as probably I may or may not make this my main source of trading income, live streaming and just during out the London session, really. So we'll see how it goes, right? But for now, there's sort of like I've been kind of you know just battling it out with what works best for me in my current situations and everything. Another trade I'm in is Euro NZD, right? So I am in Euro NZD. However, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave the trade, let it play out. Whatever it does, it does. If it goes all the way to my stop, which is right here in this trigger zone, then so be it. But overall, I'm looking for sort of like a retracement, right, back up into here. Now with the euro, I do expect it to give us some bullishness overall, just because in terms of like possibility of rate hikes to continue in September, this is a bullish sentiment, as well as the dollar weakness overall that we are currently seeing. Usually the euro does sort of benefit from dollar weakness, so that's something I'm going along with as well. And fundamentally, in terms of the risk assets such as the NZD and the AUD, not really the best in terms of buying positions. So with that, all that being said, I am expecting this to continue, higher, on at least at the retracement, and even higher. But it's anybody's game when it comes to the market. Nothing is 100% guaranteed, even if you have the best, perfect bias for yourself, whatever your trading plan entails. Sometimes the market will just do what it wants. So I'm in this trade just for like transparency's sake. This is a trade that I sent out and within the Discord group, the VIP as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. And this was like the main trade that I had set it up for the continuation of today, whether it plays out in profit or not. And yeah, this is like one of my main trades I was looking forward to seeing potentially be fruitful. All right, so it is what it is. I'm just gonna leave it, let it do its thing, and of course I'll update you guys as to what transpired. But yeah, just transparency's sake, I like to be transparent. Okay, so at this point, the trade has played out pretty nicely with a one-to-one. So you could just manage your risk, take profits right at this area here. This is what? So this is just like if you're a scalper, then this might be appealing to you, taking a 10 pips or whatever, how much of a profit that is. Me personally, I do not scalp, right? And just like to be 100% with you guys, I don't scalp, right? So I'm day trader, intraday trading as well. So usually setups that I do look at is like setups with a good 1 to 4, 1 to 3 risk to reward type situation, right? And the thing is, usually during like London sessions, what we have, and leading up to the New York sessions, a lot of volatility can come into the market, which can mess up a trade that you are in. So it could be sometimes hit or miss. Just like again, being like real with you guys. So you can manage your trade at this point. Move your stops down to the break-even point and just hold the trade, or you could just leave it as is, let trade play out. Again, I am Potentially, I want to see it go all the way back down here, but that is not without probably seeing some retracement as well on the setup. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is it right now. And as you can see, I did have this set up before, right? So yeah, I was looking for the sells right here. Right around here was the sell entry. Price came down. You can see we had the supportive level here. Then we still had this rejection, right? Price pulled back up, and then we had that continuation. This was when we had that sorry, when we had that British pound kind of volatility, right? So that happened. Um, but overall, I do think, yeah, with the yen itself, really more like the currency to pay attention to. And if you guys enjoyed the stream, then type in the chat there present. Let me know that you're here watching. Gaining some value out of it. You're chilling with me. We taking trades, getting a little profit to start out there, right? On a good positive note. So yeah, let me know what's up with you guys, how you guys are doing, and yeah, like I said, and I always keep repeating it, my ideal goal or what I'm looking for TrinFx on an entirety is just to like have a place where we have committed traders, people who want to be profitable, people who on their trading journey as well meet like-minded traders, people who are also learning and want to grow, be more independent financially and stuff like that, right? And it's kind of tasking when you don't have like active participants, but at the same time, everybody has their different things going on, so it's completely understandable. I don't pressure nobody to be active or anything, but I would say it is very discouraging when you have a group and people just not talking or taking advantage of you. Um, but I guess it's all part of it. So I try to remain positive in that sense. All right. So, top we seen. uh, so yeah, at this point just manage it. See, we had that little pullback. Looking at the 1 hour again, this is like a wick fill right here, right? So we had that pullback. Again, I don't know why the pound moved like that. Really don't have anything fundamentally supporting it. It just did, and that's something that you just have to be willing to accept. Sometimes in the markets, stuff just happens, especially when we do have news and stuff on the spur at the moment. It could be very disheartening when you're in a trade and it goes against you because something just happened. But it's all part of it, and I try to not get discouraged by that idea. So at this point, I do think we could overall have a wick fill, or potentially that is what I want to see here, right? And what a wick fill is basically, if we when we do have a situation such as we had the pound basically given, right? The yen pushed all the way down here into this zone, and then we had that pullback, right? Leaving this long wick, right? Compared to the body is smaller than the wick itself. And a second candle, again, we have good structure indicating that we could see sell pressure continuing, good form, right? Have this zone, price pushed down. We still close below that zone, and then we have where price was forming on the 30 minutes, right? This bullish, well, this candle here was bullish before. Price forming on the 30 minutes, failed to break that high, and then we start seeing that bear candle form, right? So here the 1 hour, you could call this sort of a wick fill, a price coming to fill back this that last candle. So that could be the case right here. So just manage your trade at this point and let it do its thing. This would be a 1.4 if you see price push low around 2% trade, and at that 2% you can take your profits. Again, Erskine 2% on it, right? So that'll be 4% for me. If it plays all the way down, that's a total of 8% to start off the day pretty nicely, right? Which isn't bad. Alright, so in the meantime, we can take a look at other markets. Now, I'm looking at this. This has just been a back and forth situation with Euro NZD, and I hate it. I hate when you're in a trade or like you're looking at a setup or something like that, and it just does this back and forth motion, just ranging consistently. It's just it's also very disheartening. Okay, we see. Okay, Chibika. This is a good potential. Wick all the way back down, fill in these past three candles here. If price does decide to correct, again, that will give like the card some bullishness to see that correction. But I'm not too keen on entering that, as we don't really need to. Not necessary. It's not necessary right now, right? So, but it's just something to take into consideration if you want to get into another trade. If you want to be that guy, throw risk management out the window and jump in something else, then I would say you could take those couple of trades. JP card for a wick back down. Let's take a look technically. Let's see technically if this makes sense. Right, daily and 4 hourly. 4 hourly, we see price break past all this resistance right here. So we could say we may potentially see a pullback, right, into continuation, right? So potentially this could be the case because we had that bullish push outwards. Again, if this is something like news related, then that bullishness doesn't have to actually last, right? There's a duality to it. So it's either okay at the beginning of that news event, whatever it is, or whatever caused price to be that catalyst for that bullish move. It's short lasting, right? It's like a boost move and then price corrects itself. The thing that you need to be paying attention to is these key levels to see how price interacts with them, right? So again, this would be one key level here. We had all this wick rejection from this resistance, right? Price pushed up. Now we're looking to see if we do get a pullback into that level, how price reacts. Is it going to maintain, give us a bullish push away from it, i.e. indicating a continuation move? Or are we going to see price fail to hold this supportive level, right, and push lower? So that's something you need to pay attention to. Don't just jump into the markets, especially when you don't know the cause of this, that bullish move. Don't just jump in blindly just because, all right, it pushed up, daddy retest, get gone, push back up again. You need to take all these other things into consideration, right? Which is like why we look at the higher time frames. Looking at the left, we see strong wick rejection from here, right? And that's a daily candle as well. All this bearishness here, so price falls back into this level. Maybe that is because we had all this bearish, pressure pushing from this level. Maybe this is a part, an area where the market makers, the people who actually move the market, they're looking to fill in their orders and actually push price lower, right? So just something to take into consideration if you do look to enter this as a trade. I would ideally, what would be like my ideal situation, if price does come all the way back down here, right? Again, we wait to see what kind of price action we get in terms of the candle formations, but right, if it's to continue higher, then we'll see that push above here. Once we do get that push above resistance, then I think we could get a likely continuation into this next resistance and even higher to the daily highs, right? Which would be like this area right here. Right, let's just check that. Yeah, this would be like the daily highs. Right, so yeah, just something to take into consideration if you do look to take this as a trade. I may or may not look at this as a trade for myself. I say that really with like a teaspoon of salt, right? Because look at this. Look at the economic calendar, guys. Right, so we have FOMC minutes coming up for 2 p.m. Eastern, right? So FOMC minutes, right? And if you don't know what FOMC minutes is, basically just a long briefing as to what they expect moving forward from the Fed, right? Whether it's rate hikes, in terms of what they're looking at, GDP growth, we may look at unemployment and stuff like that, how the economy is functioning, right? And all these other factors that the Fed do use in order to make their decisions on their monetary tools, right? How to utilize them. And the Thursday, right? Thursday we have the jobless claims, and jobless claims numbers looking higher, right? So for this jobless claims, when the numbers are higher, right, or the consensus is higher than the previous, that's viewed as bad. really to be positive, you want these numbers to be lower, right? Lower than the previous, lower than the consensus. But you can see here we have higher numbers here for the continuing. And we have some ISM, service PMI. So these are also important numbers that will affect something like the indices that you take a look at, such as S&P 500, NAS 100, and US 30, right? So we have that and Joel's job opening. So a lot of news for the Tuesday, right? Especially on the USD side, right? And for those of you that are new to forex, or maybe you're watching this after it's posted, when you have stuff like all these USD news, right, and currently functioning, it affects the Canadian dollar as well, right? So these numbers could be very, screwed. So I want to try to trade them as the numbers do come out, because sometimes the consensus really doesn't follow the actual, right? Especially with the now good performing economy, with Biden administration creating jobs, all of that. The debt ceiling is higher, yes, we're not gonna deny that, as well as some other underlying fundamental factors really affecting the economy on a whole. But when it comes to jobless claims, it comes to job creations and stuff like that, the economy has been functioning pretty well. So again, that's why I said these numbers is kind of screwed, because we have higher numbers, yet in actuality we have things being kind of better, right? US inflation leading to becoming, inflation curving faster than any other economy out there, jobs being created, having a robust economy. So again, this is something that you have to take with a little, just a hint of salt, right? So I wouldn't be trying to trade any USD pairs, just because it would be like really volatile. And then Friday we do have also CAD news, employment change, a lot of positivity for the CAD, it looks like. And we have NFP, right, for the US. So again, a very high volatile day, which I'm really not trying to get too involved in. All right, so let's take a look here at GJ. What's happening with GJ? All right, GJ showing some little pullbacks here. Alright, so depending on how this 7-minute candle closes, this candle closes in the next 7 minutes, we'll get a kind of hint as to whether we're going to see that continuation, or if price is just going to start wicking back up, right? So ideally, we want that candle to close fully down into this level, right? Consuming the body of this bullish candle, yeah. You can see the pullback is happening. Right, your stop should be at break even at this point, just to avoid unnecessary loss, add some profits. If it does break even, then so be it. That's just part of the game. We'll get a better setup. Maybe at this point, right, price fails to do that wick fill, and then we see some bullish continuation, because again, that GBP strength came out from nowhere. So I really, it's really like whatever the market decides to do, we just have to go with it. So that's as I said, proper risk management is really key, right? GBP CAD, little pullback, we might see a continuation higher, who knows. GBP CHF actually pushing higher, right? A good indication for those like sell continuations would have been like, okay, if we saw on this here as well, because on the CHF and the yen are both safe haven pairs, right? When economies are doing bad, usually find investors fleeing into these more stable assets, such as CHF, yen, and gold. So that is something to take into consideration too. Now, if this does pull down, I was thinking that would like be a good sort of indication that, all right, overall the pairs are starting to reverse, certain signs of reverse. So we're seeing that, all right, price is coming down from whatever that bullishness on the pound was, right? So if we close bear share, that's great for our trade. If we close higher, then that just means that everything in favor will be running in favor of the pound itself, right? So it's just like you could watch different charts and see like, okay, how they move together, how they basically what's the word? How they complement one another, right? Some of them they move similar or they complement each other, right? That's not the word I was looking for, but that's like the best description I could give. If anybody have any questions, let me know. Anything that you want to look at in particular, let me know as well. This is the mix I'm listening to right now. Chill jazz hip hop. I like the animation. Alright. Nice, we getting that pull down into the zone. We see how it goes in the next 4 minutes, and that'll give us our continuation movement if possible on this trade. So let me just type it out here. And choose 83 1.5. So this basically sums up what this is. Alright, we have 2 minutes coming to this candle close here, so we'll see how that plays out. Now again, looking for this to engulf the entire body of the candle, looking at 15 minutes, undecisive. So here only 15 minutes, actually, right? Looking to get a continuation, we like to see, alright, price book into the zone here, right? If we have that close into the zone, continuation seems more likely all the way down to the TP. If price does close, the body closes, you know, near the opening, right? At that point, I'll wait to see what the next 15-minute candle does. Because that just means, okay, like undecisiveness, right? So I just want to see how this closes. If we get this bearish close into level, then I'm comfortable leaving the trade open and just let it do its thing, lock in a little bit of profits on 1-to-1 or so, and just let price, yeah. So to speak. Actually, this would be like a good continuation level. That close into the level. Yeah, price just, you know, looking to continue further down. That would be like a good continuation sort of trade to like maximize your profits on this. If you're looking for a secondary entry, unnecessary, but also a possibility. That's that to the minute candle. So body closed, same as that. Locking that little profit here. Looking for the continuation on this candle. We just leave it as is, right? So currently at a 1 to 2 right now. Could take those profits. 2% I start any day is great. Alright, guys, don't be greedy. Don't be like me, don't be greedy. Alright. And yeah, see how they did this little pullback, yeah? Now, if we get a continuation, that'll be really nice. That'll be really nice for some continuation movement. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave this right now. This is it for the day, right? Because I mean that's great profits. See our price moved up on this too. This was nice. But again, like I stated earlier at the start of this, market's gonna open for the US economy. All that volatility is gonna rush in. We don't know how price would react into this level unless we get a bullish close into here. Then we have the NY open. Then the volume is gonna just keep price pushing up. So at that point, that's when I would take the actual trade for continuation here higher. Right now, it's just too much of uncertainties, right? Especially when you're taking market psychology, how markets move when there's times of volume and stuff like that. So it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary risk, right? So yeah, this is just like one of those things that you have to be patient with the trade rather than rushing head on into it. You have to be patient for everything to play out. All right, so yeah. Any of you who joined, hopefully you took this trade. You got some nice little profits. You're very much welcome for the scam. So yeah, I'm just gonna take off my camera here. Thank you very much, guys. Gonna leave this. We're gonna see how it plays out. Possibly enter a secondary trade right here. So you just go to this. I'm just gonna update anybody that took this trade. And this is actually looking, like a decent area could enter a continuation movement. All right. So this is, well, say you could go in for a trade continuation. In my opinion, and I'm risking like just a continuation movement, possible wick fill on this area. Now this is riskier as we do have this continuation of this 1 hour current candle, right? So this is situation. Again, already locked in some profits. If price reverses on me, really doesn't matter. We like, you know, at least like 3% either way. But yeah, continuation movement. We want to see the 30 minutes actually close bearish into this level. Alright, looking at the 15-minute. Yeah, this overall rejection. Just, you know, looking at this right now, we want to see that price close and below here. Alright, we have 7 minutes on this candle, this 15-minute candle. If we do get that bearish close, then bearish continuation seems like a high probability. Right, just leaving this as is to do its thing. And this is the beauty of trading, right? Once you have a plan, you basically know what to expect. Well, not to expect, but what you're looking for, right? Is just stick with it. Alright, so that's 15-minute rejection. Alright, so if price starts, you know, going against its actual high here, at that point I would say to take some off and just manage your trade. Right, don't make sense over risking. This is the point where we're looking at, okay, maybe this is going to be a upward, you know, rejection. If price goes against its own high and this is just price action movement, then at that point we need to be more cautious with, you know, the trade actually surpassing and possibly reversing. Right, we want to see it overall respect that bearishness and just continue lower. Right, it shouldn't disrespect its own high if we are going to continue seeing that bearish pressure. Alright, so we have like 4 minutes until this candle close, and yeah, just allow price to do whatever it does. So you're seeing that indecisiveness where price is pulling back, right? So at that point, manage price pulling back a little bit, just manage your trade. This is why this is like also a risky area of entry, right? Because again, you have that volatility, that price action movement really being like a sort of a necessary factor. Yeah, this is the overall 1 hour or 1 hourly candle that we're taking a look at. So those continuation plays would be okay if we actually see this bearish candle close right into that area. That will translate down to 30-minute. This candle closing bearish. Then at that point, the continuations are more assured to actually happen in the next candle to form, right? And we could get that play all the way back into this target level here. So waiting for the next possible entry would be coming to this hourly candle close, which is this 30-minute candle close. If coming down to the last 2-3 minutes, we get a candle close right into this area, right, or that bearish candle close, and that shows us some indication that all right, the next candle forming, we're going to see that bearish continuation movement. All right, and that's basically what we're looking for here. Trading is capitalism at its finest. So I got stopped out of this position here. I put in the next position, re-entry, same 2% risk. Again, looking for that closer coming to the candle close, continuation movement. And that's basically it. So we'll just see how this plays out. Setting my alert right here into this level. Right, so we'll know when price comes back into this area here and see whether we get those continuation movements. Right, they're starting to look like a support right here. So if we push lower and we actually break that, come into the candle close, continuations again seems more likely. So it's all about understanding the price action and how the candles look, move, and understanding like the significance of them. Alright guys, so I'm gonna sign off here, and I'm just gonna leave it for a bit, waiting to see how the candle actually closes. Coming to the last 15 minutes here. If we get that bearish close, continuations to the downside seems more likely. Alright, so that's it for me, signing off. Hi guys, so just notice I'm okay, yeah, nah, my audio's on. Alright, yeah, so just notice that this market pullback that we do have here, right, on the current to the minute candle. Now we have 5 minutes or so until this candle close, right? That's more than enough time to see a full-on rejection from this level. But I just want to note that pullback, right? I mean, if you take a look at the 4 hourly, right, the 4 hour going down, you can see that's all that noise within this range that I was talking about overall, right? This range on the higher time frame, right? Now that's something to take into consideration, and why I was saying, okay, overall, what make this like a better trade is if we saw that price actually came all the way down close into this level right here, the major supportive level, and then we see, you know, possible continuation lower because we are in this range, right? So I'm still looking to see this bearish movement, right? That my bias hasn't changed from that. Unless you see a full-on rejection, price closes up here, and then we see price continuing higher right above this area, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, wrong side of the trade right now. But sorry, let me just delete these here. It's kind of cluttered. Yeah, but for now, I think overall, this is just the simple idea, right? Price working back and forth within some range, right? We have multiple areas where price may find some support or some hesitation to push past. But overall, if the volume is there, the pressure is there, we would see those continuation into those areas, right? So that's like one key area right here. Price rejected from this area of support that we're, you know, slight support that we're seeing here, right? Not really a major area, but we saw that sort of rejection right here displaying on the current candle, and you know, the last candle that we did have price rejected from that supportive level, and for whatever reason we did have the GBP being kind of strong, right? So whether that strength is going to continue on during the course of the day is anybody's guess, but fundamentally I see no reason for that. So that's why overall I'm still sticking with my bias. If we do see price actually push past down here, and whatever candle that is that gives us, then the continuation seems more likely to downside for me, right? Even right now here, I think is a good entry point, right? To see those continuation movements to the downside, right? Targeting that supportive, the deep end of this supportive zone, right? 30-minute time frame, we saw this sort of support being formed here, price rejected. After pushing down, price came back up, and like I said, if it passes zone high, that makes this invalidated, right? So we manage the risk from this trade here. All right, looking for the possible entry or continuation is where we want to see. All right, after price made this extreme push up here, it failed to actually maintain that, or we see price even come back lower, back into this area right here. That just shows that, all right, sell pressures are still on. We can still see a continuation to the downside movement. I still see that downward push into that supportive area, and the reason why I'm using the supportive area as, you know, the main key area for our profit targets is because it's the area of significance where we'll find that price, you know, is sort of like rallying towards to, right? Especially when you have extreme movements or extreme movements in any one direction. In this case, the sell pressure right here, right? If it keeps on surmounting, then this would be the area where we see sellers either get out of their position, because this is the next major zone that we need to pay attention to, right? So this here is the next major zone that we need to pay attention to, right? So this is why we use this as a area to possibly take our targets or profits, right? Other than that, really not much else, okay? But on the extreme case, this is what we're looking at to see. So that 1 hourly candle just closed. Wicks galore. Alright. Still, we are below this area right here. So I would say the trade still is valid until we see, a push above this candle, right? Or some sort of indication to see a continuation high, right? But for now, I'll say still validation, still valid until, look at it go all the way down to the extreme lows here. The next supportive area. So it's anybody's game right now. But we had a pretty good solid morning. Nice little trade right here. Let me just delete this one from over here. Alright, nice little peaceful trade moving all the way down to 6%. Entry, had another one right into this area here. So I'm just gonna put it right here. So this is the entry right here. Mindful. This be the life of trading, guys. Alright guys, gonna end it here. I'll keep you guys updated in Discord, whatever eventually happens and plays out. Like I said already, you guys already have like my expectations to see what price does, so just a wait and see type situation, and how the volume actually comes into the market would influence the price action overall. And whether we see that continuation lower, rejections higher, whatever the case is. Quick recap on the 30 minutes. A lot of noise right here, right? So the supportive zone being something that we're paying attention to. Ideally, want to see price close below that for the continuations to be more of like a clearer, like seeing that becoming like more clearer, right? So that's it for me, guys. Kind of semi-tired right now. So I'm about to just call it a day here. And I don't like to keep you guys too long. Yeah, thank you for joining. If you found this video informative, informational, you learned something out of it, you gain some profits, then let me know. You can leave a comment, like, and also subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you guys, and peace.